Deborah, there's something I need to talk to you about. Is now a good time?
Oh, Lane. What is it? What's on your mind?
Well, actually, I'm pregnant.
Oh, really? Pregnant, huh?
Yes, I haven't been feeling well lately. I missed my period, so I went to the doctor today, and that's when I found out.
I see. You seem calm about it.
Well, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I felt like I needed to tell you, especially since Dan told me I should talk to you. He said it was important, and I agreed.
You're right to tell me. I may not be the most eager to hear about your life, but I understand the importance of family, so go ahead. What else do you want to say?
You don't seem particularly interested in my pregnancy.
Well, Dan did tell me to talk to you, so here I am. To be honest, I don't have much to say. It's not that I don't care, but I'm more focused on other things right now.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know about it. It wasn't planned, but here we are.
I understand. It's a lot to handle, especially when it's unexpected. But you're an adult, and I'm sure you'll figure things out. I'm more interested in how you're feeling. Are you okay?
I think I'll be okay, but I feel overwhelmed. This news came out of nowhere, and you know how I've been feeling lately. It's been a lot to process.
I can't say I fully understand, but I suppose I can relate by some extent. Life can throw unexpected things our way, but we all just have to deal with it in our own way. But I'm sure this won't be easy.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't be, but I'm doing my best to take it in stride.
Well, Lane, I've been thinking about children a lot lately, too.
Children? What about them?
You know, Amy had her baby not too long ago. I'm sure you've heard about it.
Of course I've heard about it. What does that have to do with me? Are you trying to draw some kind of connection?
Lane, I've been thinking a lot about how I want to treat my grandchildren. You see, I want to be fair and I want to love them equally. All my grandchildren should feel the same amount of love and attention.
I understand that, but I'm not sure how that relates to my pregnancy. Are you implying something?
I'm sure you'll understand once I explain. You see, I want to be able to spoil my first grandchild, Amy's daughter, for a while. She's the first one, and I feel like I should shower her with all my love and care.
That's fine. I understand that you want to enjoy the time with her, but what does that have to do with my pregnancy? Why does that even matter right now?
Lane, if you have another child right away, things will be different. And I don't want that. I don't want to have to split my attention between two children of the same age. I want my first grandchild to feel special. If another child comes along now, it will complicate things.
Why does that have to complicate things? Each child should be loved equally, regardless of age or birth order. Why are you putting these kinds of limits on it?
I've told you how I feel. I know it's not easy to understand, but that's just how it is. If another baby is born too soon, it'll feel like a competition, and I don't want that for any of my grandchildren. It wouldn't be fair.
But that doesn't make sense. You can love two children the same way. It doesn't have to be about competition. Each one can have their place in the family.
You just don't get it. It's not that simple. I know myself well enough to know that if another child is born too soon, I won't be able to help favoring the first one. It's human nature.
Maybe it's human nature for you, but it doesn't have to be. You can control that. You can choose not to favor one child over another.
I'm telling you I can't. It would just happen naturally, whether I want it to or not. You see, when the first child gets all the attention, it's hard not to spoil them. And if a second child arrives too soon, I'm afraid they'll be left out. It's just how things work out.
I don't know if I believe that. You're making it sound like it's inevitable that one child will be treated better than the other, but I don't think that has to be the case.
You really are stubborn, aren't you? Fine, let me make it clearer for you. I want to wait until Amy's daughter is older before we have another grandchild. This way there won't be any conflicts or hard feelings between the two.
I'm still not sure I understand why you feel that way. But, okay, I'll listen. If you want to wait, then we can talk about it. But why is it so important for you that I give up on having this baby?
Because if you have a baby now, it will ruin everything. I want to be able to spoil my first grandchild without feeling guilty, and I won't be able to do that if you have another child right away. It's just how it is. I know it's not what you want to hear, but it's the truth.
This isn't just about you, Deborah. You're asking me to give up on something that's already happening. You can't just expect me to throw it all away because of your preferences.
Well, you should. You need to think about the bigger picture here. Your child is still young, and it's not too late to change your mind. I'm asking you to wait, and I think you should.
No, Deborah, I'm not going to give up on my child. This is a life we're talking about. You can't just tell me to forget about it. I won't do that.
You really don't understand, do you? Fine, if you won't listen, then maybe you should just leave Dan. If you're not going to follow my advice, then there's nothing else to talk about.
You want me to leave my husband? Because of this? I can't believe what I'm hearing. This isn't just about me. This is about a life that I'm carrying. And you want me to give that up for your convenience?
Yes, because you're being unreasonable. You're putting your own feelings above the good of the family. If you cared about the family, you would listen to me.
Well, I care about my family too. But I won't let anyone tell me what to do with my life, especially not when it comes to my child. This is my decision, and I won't be swayed by anyone, not even you.
Then go ahead and make your choice. But don't expect me to support you when you choose a path that hurts the family.
Fine. If that's how it is, then I'll talk to Dan. Goodbye, Deborah.
Lane, it's been a long time, hasn't it? Has it really been 5 years? Oh, time has passed so quickly. But now I need to speak with you about something important.
Who is this?
Huh? Oh, that's a rather rude way to start a conversation, don't you think?
After 5 years of silence and no contact from you, suddenly you call me out of the blue to say you have something to talk about? At first, I honestly didn't even recognize your voice. So, what is it that you want now?
Well, let's start with the basics. You've had your child, right? Was it a boy or girl?
Why are you asking about this now? Isn't this the very child that caused our divorce in the first place?
Yes, I admit that I said some things that were harsh back then, but despite the circumstances, that child is still Dan's flesh and blood. Nothing changes that fact, no matter what.
Well, it's not as simple as you're making it sound. It's a boy, by the way.
Oh, a boy, huh? I'm sure he's adorable. Probably takes after Shinji, right? He must be a real cutie.
Why are you bringing this up now?
The reason I'm bringing it up is that Dan remarried 3 years ago. The woman he married comes from a good family, very well off, and I'm sure you would agree that she's more suited to him than you ever were.
Is that so?
Yes, and the thing is, she's been unable to have children of her own. She's infertile, and no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't have a baby.
I see.
So here's the thing. She's interested in adopting your son, all right? She wants him to come live with them, and of course we'd be willing to compensate you for it.
No, absolutely not.
What? You're really not even going to consider it?
There's nothing to consider. Why on earth would I let you take my son?
But Lane, your son is still Dan's biological child. He belongs in a proper home, a stable home. Instead of raising him alone, don't you think it's better that he grows up in a family that can provide for him properly?
My son's happiness is the most important thing to me, and I know what's best for him. That means he stays with me, no matter what you think.
Lane, I really don't understand why you can't see this. Why can't you see that this is for his own good?
Because I know you, and I know what you've done before. I can't trust you to raise my son, especially after everything that happened with my pregnancy. You're not the kind of people I want my son to be with.
You know, I've always thought that people could love a child just as much after they were born, no matter what happened before. I love Shinji, and I'd love your son just as much if he were to come live with us. We would give him all the love he needs, just as we did for Amy's kid.
Your reasoning doesn't make sense, and I can't understand why you think it's okay to take my son from me, especially when you already have a grandchild in the picture. Why do you need my son as well? Isn't that just too much?
Well, about that, there's something you should know. Amy's ex-husband took their child and disappeared. It seems men can be pretty unreliable, don't you think?
Oh, that's terrible, but it's really none of my business.
You should be careful, Lane. Don't push me too far. You don't want to see me angry.
What's the matter? I don't want anything to do with you, and I am certainly not going to give you my son. You should know why after everything that's happened between us.
Stop dragging this on and just hand over the child. If you keep arguing, I'll have to take more drastic measures.
Oh, really? And what kind of drastic measures are you talking about? Because let me tell you something. There's one thing I need to set straight here.
What's that?
I'm remarried, and I'm not single anymore. My new husband treats my son as if he were his own flesh and blood. That's another reason why I can't just give my son to you.
So what? Who you've married doesn't concern me one bit.
Well, what if my new husband is Dan's direct superior at work?
What?
Yes, I only found out after we got married, but it turns out he's been dealing with some issues at work. There's a subordinate who's been causing trouble, making excuses about his mother and acting out. It's been a bit of a problem.
No way. Oh, that can't be true.
If things keep going like this, Dan's reputation, which is already bad, might get even worse.
You're trying to use your power to manipulate things, aren't you? That is so underhanded.
Well, I wouldn't call it that. It's more of a psychological issue that needs to be addressed. But unless something drastic happens, things should be fine. I'm sure nothing major will happen as long as Dan doesn't do anything foolish.
You're being so irresponsible. If Dan's reputation suffers because of this, I swear I'll take legal action.
Well, then you better keep a close eye on Dan and make sure he doesn't make any more mistakes. Anyway, I think we're done here. Goodbye, and I hope we never have to speak again.
Fine. I'll just give up, all right? You win. But don't think I'm happy about it.
At first glance, it seemed like my former mother-in-law had reluctantly accepted the situation and stepped back. However, the truth was far from that. She hadn't given up at all. In fact, she went so far as to attempt to kidnap my son. It's almost unbelievable, but she actually tried to take him away from me. I wonder, is this what she was hinting at back then when she was talking about her plans? Is this the kind of thing she had in mind? If so, I have to say it was incredibly reckless, thoughtless even. I can't believe someone would resort to such drastic measures, especially when there are so many other ways to handle things. To think that she went so far as to try and do something like this really makes me question everything about her and her motivations. It's almost as if she had completely lost her sense of reason. The kidnapping attempt didn't succeed, thankfully, but it was a shocking and terrifying experience. My former husband, who had apparently been complicit in this insane plan, was arrested. And now his life is in shambles, not to mention his reputation, which has absolutely been ruined. He was already walking a fine line in his professional life, and this incident had pushed him over the edge. It's not just about his career anymore. This is something much worse. How could he have been so blind, so involved in something so dangerous and damaging to everyone around him, especially his own son? At work, his standing has plummeted. Whatever reputation he might have had has been completely destroyed. He was a man with potential, but now he's just another criminal, just another person with a broken life. To think that everything he worked for could collapse so easily because of a single choice, it's honestly heartbreaking, but also hard to feel sympathy for him after everything he's done. He made this choice, and now he has to face the consequences. But despite all of that, I'm just relieved that my son is okay. That's the only thing that matters. No matter what happened with my ex-husband or his mother, my priority has always been to protect my child. He's safe, and that's all I can focus on now. I've been through so much, but nothing compares to the terror I felt when I realized what they were trying to do. I know I have to keep moving forward for my son's sake. There's no point in dwelling on what's happened, but the fact that it's all over, well, it gives me a sense of relief. For now, we can start over, and I'm thankful for that.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Emma, it's been a while. Hey, are you there? This is my new phone number, so you haven't blocked me, right?
Who is this?
Oh, come on, it's Randy, you know, your future boyfriend.
Randy, I've rejected your confession more times than I can count. And seriously, we haven't seen each other since college. How do you even have the nerve to say something like that?
Emma, I've kept you waiting long enough. Let's get married.
What?
I mean it. Recently, I've finally started earning a decent income.
Oh, so you're no longer living the neat lifestyle?
Exactly. I worked hard, Emma. And now, with my newfound success, you can finally live your dream as a carefree, stay-at-home wife.
Well, I'll admit it's a step forward that you're working now. But I'm already engaged to someone else.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, that's how it is. Sorry.
Hold on. What's his salary?
What?
And does he plan to make you keep working after you're married? If his income is lower than mine and he can't afford to let you be a stay-at-home wife, maybe you should reconsider and marry me instead.
Yeah, no. I'm not about to share his income details. That's personal. But just so you know, I plan to keep working after marriage, and it's my decision.
Wait, what? That's terrible!
Why do you think that?
Come on, Emma. You say it's your decision, but isn't it really because your fiancé doesn't earn enough to let you quit? Let's be honest, he's probably broke, isn't he? And you're too embarrassed to admit it.
I'm not embarrassed. In fact, his income isn't something I'm ashamed of at all. And like I said, I want to work because I enjoy my career. My fiancé respects that.
You don't have to pretend.
Randy, seriously.
Yeah?
If you're going to bring up this ridiculous comparison between you and my fiancé, shouldn't you at least reveal your own salary? I can't even make a judgment without that information.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Though I'll tell you right now, it's not going to change my mind, just to be clear.
No way, you'll definitely change your mind. Okay, fine, I'll tell you. But keep in mind, I only started working 3 months ago after leaving the neat life. So here it is, my monthly salary. Are you ready? Drum roll, please.
I could do without the theatrics.
No fun. Okay, here goes. My monthly salary is a whopping $1,200. What? Impressive, right? With this, you can finally live a luxurious life as a stay-at-home wife.
1,200?
Yup.
You're serious?
Of course.
So you're actually serious?
What's the matter? Are you stunned by how amazing I am?
I mean, I'm stunned, but for different reasons.
I knew it. I'm that good, huh?
No, it's just, that's really low.
Huh?
Look, I'm not trying to insult you. It's great that you've finally become independent and stopped relying on your parents. That's an important step, but...
But what? What's the problem?
It's not a problem, per se. It's just painfully obvious that you have no idea what average incomes or living expenses look like in the real world.
Oh, come on. My dad told me his first paycheck was around the same amount.
Yeah, but wasn't that, 30 years ago? Do you have any idea how much the cost of living has risen since then? And let me ask you this, can you even live on $1,200 a month?
Of course, I budget carefully and I manage to spend just about all of it every month.
So, you're saying you have no room to save any money?
Savings? Not exactly, no.
If your hypothetical wife became a stay-at-home partner, you'd be covering expenses for 2 people with that $1,200. On top of that, you'd need to save a significant amount each month for the future. It's pretty clear that $1,200 wouldn't cut it.
The future? Like when we have kids?
Exactly. Think about it. More groceries, higher utility bills, and education costs. Your salary doesn't support the kind of lifestyle you're imagining.
So it all comes down to money, huh?
Money isn't everything, but it's a pretty big part of being able to live comfortably. Marriage isn't just a fantasy, it's a practical commitment.
All right, fine. What about you and your fiancé then? Are you making enough to talk down to me like this?
Yes, for one thing, I'm earning more than you, and my fiancé earns more than I do.
What?
His income alone could support us, but these days you never know what might happen. That's why we've agreed to keep working together to build a stable future. Besides, I love my job, so I have no intention of quitting.
So, you don't even want to be a stay-at-home wife?
Not really, no.
Oh, well that changes everything. I guess I don't need to work hard anymore.
Wait, what?
Here's an idea. You keep working and I'll be the stay-at-home spouse.
Excuse me?
If you're earning enough for both of us, there's no point in me working, right?
Are you serious right now?
Absolutely. I'll quit my part-time job and focus on supporting you at home.
Wait, part-time job? You're not even a full-time employee? And you're proposing to me with that? Hold on, Randy, hello? Are you even listening? Don't just leave me on red. Randy, did you just put down your phone and stop talking to me? How did it come to this? Didn't you read the message from earlier?
Emma, I just quit my part-time job. I got notifications multiple times after that, but are you really that happy about marrying me? I don't need to read it. I already know what's in your heart. I already know.
Read it carefully.
Okay, fine. I get it. Hey, seriously?
That's what it is.
That's just cruel! You went on and on about how happy you were when we got engaged!
No. I was just giving an example that if your monthly salary is $1,200, having your wife stay at home as a full-time housewife is unrealistic. You're so dependent on your family's financial support, and you think it'll just magically work out?
But with your earnings, we could make it work!
Well, I've already turned down your proposal.
If there's love, money doesn't matter, right?
No, that's not the case. That love you're talking about, it was never there between us to begin with.
What are you saying? No way! That's impossible!
I've said it before and I'll say it again. There was never any real love between us. I might have liked you, but it wasn't love in the way you're imagining. It's not that I didn't care about you, but it was never the deep, meaningful connection that you're looking for.
You're so persistent! I turned down your proposal, so why can't you understand that? Why do you keep trying to convince me otherwise?
Also, my fiancé wants to tell you something.
Wait, he's here?
Don't mess with my precious woman, you jerk.
What? My brother?
Yeah, my fiancé is your younger brother, Frank. Your family, who's all about the firstborn, treated him terribly because he was the second son. They kicked him out of the house when he finished middle school. That Frank.
You're lying! That Frank who only graduated middle school is making more than me? No way!
He's not a high school dropout anymore.
Huh?
He worked while attending a night school, and with the money he earned, he finished college. Now he's working at a big company with a position of responsibility.
No way!
It's completely true. While you were living off your parents, doing nothing, Frank worked hard and kept moving forward with his own strength, and that's how he is today. I admire Frank's attitude, and I've decided to support him for the rest of my life.
Wait! You're being deceived. There's no way! That piece of trash, Frank, is not good enough to be your husband. I, the firstborn, am clearly better than some useless second son. Don't you agree?
You still don't get it, do you? Frank doesn't have the luxury of relying on other people to support him. He's the one who made his own future, and you're the one who's still stuck in the past. You still believe in some outdated idea of what it means to be a man, when the firstborn should always be in charge and the second son should just follow. That's not how life works anymore. I know that people like you with such outdated ways of thinking are completely incompatible with me, so goodbye.
No! You can't just walk away from me! I'll make you regret this. You'll see!
I don't think so. I've made up my mind, and there's nothing you can say or do to change that. I'm done with all the baggage you carry around. I'll be happy with Frank, and I don't care what you think about it. Your opinions don't matter to me anymore.
Wait! I will never accept this. Never!
You're the one that won't accept things. Frank and I have built something solid together while you've just been coasting along with no plan. You had your chance and you wasted it. I'm sorry, but I'm moving forward with my life.
You've got to be kidding me! This is ridiculous!
No, this is reality. You can keep living in your fantasy world, but Frank and I are out here living our real lives. And that's the difference, isn't it?
But Frank is just... He's nothing! You're throwing away your future with someone like him!
I don't think you understand what you're saying. Frank is a hard-working, independent man. He didn't rely on anyone, not even his own parents, to get where he is today. That's something you could never do. You're just too comfortable in your own little bubble to see the truth.
I'll show you. You'll regret this, I swear.
No, I don't think I will. I don't regret a single thing. I'm happy with Frank, and I am proud of him. We're going to make it, and nothing you say is going to change that.
Wait, you're making a huge mistake!
I'm not making any mistakes. You're the one who's been stuck in the past, clinging to outdated beliefs and thinking you can control everything. Well, I'm done with it. Frank and I are moving on, and you can't stop us.
You can't just forget about everything we had! What we had meant something, didn't it? You're throwing it all away for someone you barely know!
What we had? That wasn't love. It was just a series of expectations that I never asked for. You expected me to be someone I'm not, and now you expect me to stay in something that doesn't make sense anymore? But you don't understand. You never did.
You're wrong. You're wrong about all of this. You'll realize one day that you made a mistake.
Maybe. But I'll be fine, and Frank and I will be happy. It's time for me to live my own life, free from all the burdens you've put on me.
You're so cold. This isn't how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to stay with me.
It was never supposed to be like this. You created a fantasy world where everything worked out according to your plan, but it never did. Now you have to face the consequences of your own decisions.
I can't believe this. You've really made your decision, haven't you?
Yes, I've made my decision, and I'm not going back. You can't change it. No one can. Randy's part-time job seemed to have been something that his parents, concerned about their own future and income, had arranged for him. They wanted him to work for a company owned by an acquaintance with the idea that one day he could transition to a full-time permanent position. This plan was meant to provide some financial security for his future and, in their eyes, ensure that he would be able to support himself as he grew older. They were looking to safeguard both their own old age and his, hoping his job would give him a stable income stream that would eventually allow him to live independently without needing to rely on them for support as they got older. However, Randy did not share his parents' vision. Despite the opportunity, Randy decided, quite abruptly, to quit the job he had been doing. It wasn't just that he left the job. He didn't even give much thought to the consequences of his actions. He quit without consulting anyone, and within no time, he was back to his old habits, unemployed and living off of his parents, essentially reverting to a state of dependency. The plan that his parents had carefully laid out for him was in tatters. Their hopes for his future, which had seemed so promising when he started the job, were dashed in an instant. Randy's decision to quit and return to his previous lifestyle meant that their concerns about his well-being had only grown stronger. At the same time, the situation with Randy forced his parents to take a closer look at Frank, Randy's younger brother, and his life choices. They had heard about Frank's current situation and felt a sense of urgency. Frank had managed to build a life for himself, having overcome the challenges of growing up in a family where he had often been neglected, especially compared to Randy. He had worked hard, developed independence, and successfully made a name for himself without relying on their help. This was something Randy had never been able to do, and their frustration with him grew as they saw Frank's achievements. Seeing how Frank had turned his life around, they turned their attention to him in the hope that he might be the one to help them in their later years. Believing that Frank would be the one to take care of them when they needed it most, Randy's parents showed up at Frank's apartment unannounced. They had not informed Frank of their plans, and their sudden visit seemed to be an attempt to pressure him into offering them the help they desperately needed. However, Frank was one step ahead. A few years earlier, he had made the decision to leave that apartment behind, cutting ties with the people who had not supported him through his struggles. In a deliberate move, Frank had withheld his current address from his parents, so when they arrived at the apartment, it was no longer his home. This turned out to be a fortunate decision for Frank. His parents had no idea where he lived now, and their attempts to track him down proved fruitless. The only means by which they could have contacted Frank was through his cell phone number, but even that had been changed. Frank had severed all forms of communication with his parents, choosing to move forward with his life without them in it. The decision to change his phone number was the final step in completely cutting ties. Frank knew that by doing this, he could move on without the burden of his parents' expectations and demands. It was his way of ensuring that he would not fall into the same pattern of dependency and disappointment that had plagued his relationship with Randy. After making a clean break from his past, Frank eventually settled down, got married, and took on a new surname, mine. This was a significant change for him, as it symbolized not only his new life, but the fresh start that he had been longing for. As he embraced this new chapter in his life, he also moved in with my parents, with whom he now shares a home. The relationship he shares with my father in particular is something truly special. My father and Frank bonded over shared hobbies, and their connection grew stronger with each passing day. It wasn't just about being in the same household, it was about genuinely enjoying each other's company and sharing common interests. They would often spend hours together discussing everything from books to films to music, and their conversations were filled with laughter and excitement. It was clear that Frank had finally found a place where he could thrive both personally and emotionally. My father, who had always been a strong support for me, was now giving Frank the same sense of encouragement and care that he had given me throughout my life. Frank, who had once felt neglected and alone, now had a family that truly understood him and welcomed him with open arms. It was a far cry from the situation he had experienced with his own parents, who had only ever seen him as a means to their own end, someone who could eventually care for them when they no longer were able to manage on their own. In many ways, Frank's life had come full circle. What had once been a story of hardship and neglect was now one of growth and happiness. He had gone from being the overlooked and underappreciated younger brother to being someone who was not only independent, but also a beloved member of a family that cherished him. The contrast between him and Randy could not have been more apparent, and Frank's success in creating a fulfilling life for himself served as a silent reminder to Randy of what could have been. It was a stark reflection of how their paths had diverged. Randy still clinging to his past mistakes and dependence on his parents, and Frank, who had moved on to a brighter future with a supportive family by his side. And as Frank continues to live with my parents, I see him grow even more. It's a life I'm proud to be a part of, watching as he builds a future not just for himself, but as someone who has found a true sense of belonging and peace. The transformation from the lonely, abandoned brother to the happy, engaged man he is today is something I will always hold dear. And I feel fortunate that he's now part of my family. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hannah, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Huh? What, Mom? Why are you asking me something like that out of nowhere?
I want to know what you're doing. I just saw you walking out in front of the subway station a second ago. That was you, right? What do you think you're doing walking around like that in public?
I guess that was me because I was just walking near there. So you happened to see me then and question why I'd be walking around?
I sure as hell did see you. Tell me what the hell is going on right now. To what extent are you going to keep acting all reserved and careless about things when you look like that?
Huh?
It's been 5 years since the last time I saw you in person, and there has not been a single thing about you that's changed. Your sister happens to be a model and is making it big in that business. So why are you so simple and not doing anything fun with your life? Were you really born for the same parents as her?
I don't think that's something the person that literally gave birth to me should be asking.
Not only is your face not as cute as hers, but I've tried so hard for so long to make you into the cute little girl I always wanted you to be. And this is how I'm repaid? You never once listened to the things I said you should be doing.
Well, the reason I never turned out like Tasha is probably due to the fact that I don't care for makeup or dressing in fancy clothing.
And I'm telling you right now that that's not a good thing. Please, just become a little bit more like your big sister. I mean, she's been on live television multiple times now, unlike you. If people begin to find out that she has such an uncool little sister like you, they might stop caring about her.
I don't feel like her and I have anything to do with one another, though.
Oh, I've had enough of this. I don't even want to think of you as my little girl anymore. I knew long ago that after you graduated from school, I should have just cut ties with you completely.
Well, you did end up kicking me out of the house then, so that's pretty much the same thing, right?
Well, starting today, I'm going to never speak to you again. I never want an ugly woman like you in my sights ever again, and I mean that.
Sure thing. You didn't even have to tell me that because that was my plan from the start.
You really have not a single thing about you that makes you decent, you brat. And I'd better never see you walking around town in such a laid-back fashion again, either. It embarrasses me knowing that my disgrace of a daughter is out somewhere where everyone can see her.
What has gotten into you this time? You really have the worst personality out of anyone.
Thank you for going out for coffee with me today. I have to meet with someone relating to my job there later today, and I don't want to just sit around on my own for a few hours waiting. So you being around to talk with me for a bit and have a cup was very kind of you.
No worries, Tasha, and thank you for paying for my coffee for me.
Also, as for what Mom told you today, you really don't have to worry about a word she said to you, all right? She just happens to be a toxic witch is all.
I totally understand that. And luckily for myself, I haven't been worried by anything she said.
You sure? If you really aren't upset by her, then that's good. But are you sure you're not taking everything she said personally and are hiding it from me? I don't want you to be dealing with all of this on your own, okay?
I told you I'm fine. You're getting too worried over nothing. If anything, I think it's you, between the two of us, that's getting all worked up by what she said to me.
What?
Tasha, you have lived your whole life being cared for so deeply by Mom all the time, right? So when you see me being treated like I'm not even her daughter, that probably makes you uncomfortable.
It does, actually. I've always been a bit unnerved by everything she does to you. But for the longest time, I haven't ever been able to do anything to help you when things like that start again.
You don't have to worry about it, though. You and I have been kids forever now, so we don't know how to deal with situations like that. So don't feel like I'm angered at you or anything over it. Also, when Dad was still around, he was there to make sure I had someone who cared for me.
That's true. Dad was such a great man. But I still can't forgive myself for never stepping in.
Do you not realize that I'm thankful to you? When I was kicked out of the house after high school, you allowed me to come to your house for a while. If it wasn't for you doing such a thing, I'd have been left to the streets.
Don't feel thankful for that. At the time, I hated living by myself anyway, so it was for my own selfish wants. And back then, Mom was paying for half of my rent and for a lot of my things in that place, so I was blessed with the house I was allowed to live in. And also, once you moved in, you started to do all the chores and cooking for me. And I really can't have you thanking me for any of that.
Well, come on now. You were never going to clean your house or cook for yourself because you were too busy being a model. I had thought at the time that if I didn't start to cook for you, then you might start to gorge yourself on fast food and ruin the body that's gotten you your career.
See? I should be thanking you for taking care of me back then. Honestly, I'm a terrible older sister to you.
Well, I'm totally fine with you being a terrible older sister, so you don't have to get all down about it. Now, how many more times are you going to have me calm you down like this? I hate seeing you sad about everything, so I do it out of my own wants, but you really need to get a hold of yourself there.
You are right, though. I need to stop relying on you to make me feel better like this.
Understand that I'm not angry at you about anything right now, and that I'm thankful for having you as my older sister. Seriously. All right, that's the end of this conversation then.
All right, I'm sorry. Sorry about getting this way every time. I'll do my best to not get so worked up from now on. Thank you again, Hannah.
Please take better care of yourself for me.
I'll try. See you again next week. I'm really looking forward to coming out with you to choose your wedding dress.
Now, I've already told you before that I'm going to choose my dress, all right?
No, you're not. I think I've told you before as well that you do not have a single sense of fashion. So if I let you choose a dress for yourself, it'll be a disaster. This is going to be for one of your biggest days in your life, so please let me be the one to choose your dress for you.
Dang it. I hate having to let my older sister pick out my dress for me, but then again, you are the model, so you have a far better idea of what's right for my body than even I do. Just make sure whatever you choose for me isn't too gaudy. See you next week.
See you soon. Hey, Hannah. Have you had a look at the picture I just sent you?
What? Oh, I just saw it. What is this? Are you planning to go to a funeral soon?
I know what's going on with you. You're going to be having a wedding here soon. I can't believe that my own daughter would try to keep her very own wedding a secret from her mother. And I'm sure you have no plans of inviting me to your wedding either. Well, don't worry, because I've been able to find out all the details regarding you and your upcoming wedding.
I guess I am getting married soon. But what does me getting married and having a wedding have to do with you and that funeral clothing you have there?
Well, I suppose it wouldn't be any fun leaving you here without telling you everything you should know about this. Now, today is the day of your wedding, correct?
What?
Today I'm planning on going to your wedding, and I'm going to be wearing these clothes to your wedding as if it were a funeral. And the reason why? Because a simple little brat like you would look a lot better having your mother dressed up for a funeral on your wedding day.
Wait. Hold on a second, Mom. My wedding isn't today, all right?
Yeah. I've already looked into all of it, so don't even bother trying to fool me now. Well, now that you know what you have to look forward to today, I hope you prepare yourself.
Hold it right there.
I just made it to the reception hall. There are a lot more guests here than I was anticipating. It's quite amazing that someone like you would be able to fool this many people into coming to your wedding of all things.
You're lying, right? You really went there? Mom, I think it's best if you just turned around and went home right now. I'm not joking around.
I have no reason to be going home now after coming all the way out here. I can tell that the wedding will be getting started very soon here. I hope you're looking forward to seeing me when you get out on stage.
Mom, why are you still trying to harass me like this? I thought you already told me you cut ties to me, so I don't get why you're still trying so hard to be around me. Can't you just leave me be and go enjoy your own life?
The only reason I'm here to mess with you right now is because you never invited me. What the hell did you think you were doing when not inviting your own mother? Do you not feel any form of thanks for all the years I've spent raising you?
You already told me that you wanted to cut ties to me, though. Why are you still going on about all of this when you don't even want me as your daughter? It's starting to become a headache for me trying to figure out how you really feel right now. Are you mentally okay?
Shut your little mouth. No matter how much I don't want you to be my daughter, you will still respect me as your mother and be punished for acting out of line. Now, please, get yourself ready to enjoy the wedding you're putting on for everyone. Of course, I'll be waiting for you. In the clothing I found matched my feelings for you the best.
What are you trying to do to me? Seriously.
I find it very thoughtful of me coming in this all-black dress for my plain daughter's wedding today. I'm sure you'll want the wedding canceled once you see how everyone else reacts to seeing the bride's mom in funeral clothing.
I already had my wedding yesterday, though.
What?
My wedding. It was yesterday. Today you're at the wedding of some complete stranger.
You're lying to me, right? There's no way I got all the information wrong. I know for a fact that the person who told me the details of your wedding would never mess any of the details up.
Tell me, Mom, who was the one that told you about my wedding?
Who? I just heard about it through some rumors is all.
Through rumors? So what the hell were you just talking about? You made it sound like you had some kind of an informant, you idiot. Well, anyway, my wedding is not today, Mom. I can give you all the evidence you need of that right now if you want.
No way. Oh, you weren't kidding. I have no idea who either of these people are that just walked out. If you knew that today wasn't your wedding, then tell me that sooner. I knew something was off here. All of these really good-looking guys here, why would any of them ever go to a wedding for you, of all people?
Ugh, you really are such an imbecile. Well, have fun at that stranger's wedding. Bye-bye.
Wait a second. Hey, wait a second, Ren! You reply to me right now!
Come on, how many gosh dang times are you going to try calling me today? It's pretty freaking annoying. I am tired from my wedding yesterday and would really like to relax. Can you just save all your BS for another day?
Hey, please, oh, come help me. For some reason, I felt a little bit of fear by being at this stranger's wedding, and now I know why. I'm trying to leave, but they're not letting me go home. They're saying that I'm from another gang and am trying to make a point at the wedding.
Oh, God, that's pretty scary, Mom. Well, I'm sure they might think you were trying to harass the bride or groom in some way by showing up in all black for a funeral.
I want you to talk to them right now and tell them this was all a big mistake. If you don't, I'm not sure what's going to happen to me.
What's the situation like right now?
I ran and locked myself in the bathroom, but they keep banging on the door and asking me to let them in. They keep telling me that they're going to all teach me a lesson, but I'm just an old and confused woman who got the dates wrong is all. I tried to explain that to some of the guests, but not a single one of them wanted to listen to me.
Well, that might have to do with them all thinking that you came to the wedding dressed in black to try to harass someone. Ugh, All right. I'll go ahead and give the reception hall a call and see if I can explain what's happened to them.
Really? Thank you.
I went ahead and had a talk with someone on the phone, and I think it cleared up everything for them. Of course, you're not going to be let off the hook easily, though. You went and ruined a very important wedding for someone, after all.
Well, that's what they're telling me now. They're telling me to pay half of the wedding costs right now.
That's pretty kind of them to only be asking you for half, right?
I was thinking having you pay for everything would have been the correct punishment. But I can't even pay for half of the wedding, Hannah. Would you please give me some money?
That's going to be a no from me, Mom. Why should I, the one you were trying to harass today, give you any kind of money to help you get out of your own mess? You should be happy I was kind enough to even call the wedding place and explain why you were ruining the wedding in the first place. But that's it from me now. You'll figure out how to pay them on your own.
What kind of heartless woman are you? This is why I call you such a plain and ugly woman all the time.
The only reason you called me is that because you're a stupid witch. Well, that's it from me. You're really not getting any of my help now.
Wait a second, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, okay? Your own mother is apologizing to you now, right? Hannah, I have something to ask you, so please respond to me. I can see that you're reading all these texts, so you haven't blocked me yet, right? I have something very serious that I'd like to talk to you about. I've already been blocked by your sister, so I'm not able to get in touch with her anymore.
Go ahead. I was just thinking that today would be the perfect day to finally block you, so this will be your last chance to talk to me.
I was kicked out of the apartment building that I was living in. I wasn't able to pay for the rent there anymore. Look, after what happened at that stranger's wedding, I was forced to pay a lot of money that I haven't been able to make back.
And?
I know now that I've done a few bad things in the past as well, okay? I know that very well now. I will apologize to you in person the next time I see you, so please just help me out.
You've done a few bad things in the past as well. Oh, so that must mean you feel as though I've done some bad things in the past too, then?
No, that's not at all what I meant by that.
I know for a fact that you do feel as though I'm still in the wrong for everything. So, you were kicked out of that apartment? Sucks to suck, doesn't it? Good luck with wherever you end up next, okay?
What? Hey, hold on. Did you plan to just throw me away then?
Well, look, Mom, it's not like you're working a job or anything. And for the past few years, you've been relying on Tasha to help you pay your bills, right?
Well, that didn't have to do with me not having any of the money myself. All that time, I had enough money left over from your father after he passed away.
What did you end up using all his money on then? Have you been gambling it all away?
No! I had to hire myself someone to help me start searching for where both you and your older sister are living. I've really been wanting for both you guys and I to become family again.
I see. And even with a hired pro helping you out, you still couldn't find us? So over time, you kept dumping more and more money into the pro for nothing?
That's right. So please, can you at the very least tell Tasha that I'm wanting to talk to her?
Huh? Why do you need to talk with her now?
Well, turns out that the pro I hired happens to be a really big fan of Tasha and all, so I promised him that if he can help me find her, I'll let him get to know her better. He said if that's the case, then he'd void the rest of the money I owe him.
Unbelievable. So both you and that pro are just creepy and stupid? Also, why the hell do you need a pro to help you search for us? Just do it yourself.
Well, that pro I hired is actually stupid, and that's why I still haven't been able to find either of you.
You both are brain-dead idiots. I can't with you anymore. That's it. If you think you can just keep trying to rely on your daughters for money, then it's better that you just forget about being our mom.
Wait, this isn't about only money, but you have to understand that I don't have anything anymore. I need some money at the very least from one of you.
Sorry, I'm just not in the mood to help you out, and I sure never will be. Would you please stop trying to find either one of us? If you keep all of that up, someone might find out that you're our actual mother, and that might make Tasha look bad. My mom got a rundown apartment, but continued borrowing money just to survive, pushing herself deeper into trouble. She took a part-time job, but all her earnings went towards searching for Tasha. Well, I'm not suggesting she couldn't manage things better. If she doesn't start paying off her debts, she'll be in even more serious trouble. She still thinks of us as a source of money and expects that we'll help if she finds us, which I find ridiculous. I haven't blocked her number yet because I enjoy watching her messages pile up, asking for help while updating me on her mess. Eventually, she'll realize we don't care and that her debt will only make her life worse. She's too blind to see the consequences. Years later, my sister retired from modeling to live her own life and likely travel. We don't talk much, but I look forward to catching up with her. As for Mom, we haven't heard much besides her being fired and stuck in debt. She never found us, and her last message mentioned someone following her. This year, I'm expecting my first baby, and while my life is simpler than my sister's, I'm content with my small family. Nothing will make me feel bad about that. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Lily, I'm sorry, but could you lend me $5,300?
Dexter, what the hell? A college student suddenly asking for $5,300? Are you serious?
It's for tuition.
Excuse me? Explain yourself. I thought your university's tuition wasn't something you'd have to worry about like this. What's going on?
My university requires the entire year's tuition to be paid up front. That's why the amount is so high.
You've got to be kidding me. Come on, Dexter, you were the one who said you didn't want to rely on scholarships because they made you nervous. You promised that you'd work hard and earn enough to cover everything during your time in college. If I remember correctly, didn't you have a whole plan to manage your expenses after your first year? Even if I'm your sister, this isn't the kind of money I can just hand over on a whim.
I know, Lily. Believe me, I didn't want to ask you for this either. I'm desperate. I feel like I'm grasping at straws here. I have no one else to turn to, and the deadline is fast approaching.
There's more to this story, isn't there? Fine, let's meet up and talk about it in person. I'll hear you out. Meet me at the family restaurant on the 5th floor of the F Station Mall. We'll discuss it over dinner.
I don't even have enough money to eat out.
It's fine. I'll cover that at least.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Lily. I owe you big time. I'll tell you everything when we meet, I promise.
You better. Don't try to gloss over anything, all right?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I know this is a huge inconvenience for you. I'm sorry.
Lily, I heard you switched jobs and got a pay raise. Isn't it time you increased the amount you're sending to the family? You were the one who defied us and left home when you started college. It's about time you repay your parents for raising you, don't you think? Show some gratitude.
Hi, Mom. Long time no talk. And of course, it's another message about money. You know, you really don't give up, do you? Even though you know I'll say no. If you want money, why don't you get a job? It's embarrassing enough that neither you nor Dad are working.
How dare you speak to me like that? I'm just giving you a chance to be a good daughter and show some filial piety. You should appreciate the opportunity.
Maybe I'll reduce the amount I send to 10 cents from now on.
Excuse me, that is clearly a typo, right? You meant to say you'd increase it to $1,000, didn't you?
No typo, I meant 10 cents.
What the hell?
Living alone comes with a lot of expenses, you know. Plus, I'm still paying off my student loans. Honestly, I shouldn't even be sending anything to you at all. And speaking of this gratitude you keep bringing up, let's clear something up. In case you forgot, I paid for my high school tuition myself. I worked part-time jobs to cover it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you heard me. And for college, I relied entirely on scholarships to get by. And as I mentioned, I am still paying these loans off. Let's not forget, when I was a kid, it wasn't you or Dad who made sure I had food to eat. It was Grandma, who passed away 6 months ago, who took care of me. To be honest, I don't really feel like I owe you anything for raising me.
It's normal for grown children to take care of their parents. That's how it's supposed to be.
Maybe so, but I think only parents who actually did their part in raising their kids get to make that argument.
You are unbelievable. Look at your brother Dexter. He is paying his own $5,300 tuition. Why can't you be more like him?
Excuse me? What?
He's your younger brother, yet he's managing his finances. Meanwhile, you, as the older sibling, are only offering 10 cents as support. Are you trying to mock us?
Wait a second. That $5,300? That was me. I lent it to Dexter.
What? I just spoke to your father. He said the $5,300 we paid at the time of Dexter's college enrollment was definitely deposited into Dexter's account.
Why are you snooping through Dexter's bank records without his permission?
And recently your father said Dexter gave him $6,000 too.
Do you honestly believe that money was meant for Dad? Are you seriously that naive?
Your father is furious. He says it's ungrateful for you not to increase the amount you send to us. What kind of daughter are you?
I'm already sending $500 a month, aren't I? Are you actually pushing me to cut it down to 10 cents?
Well, your father said, then stop sending anything at all. Even those measly 10 cents aren't worth it. He even joked that Dexter seems to be doing just fine earning money, so we will rely on him instead.
Unbelievable. You're seriously planning to mooch off a college student now? But I can't wrap my head around it. But you know what? This might actually be a good opportunity to bring up something I've been meaning to discuss with Dad. And since you're here, I'll fill you in too.
What are you talking about?
The $5,300 Dad mentioned was indeed for Dexter's first year of tuition, but the $5,300 I'm talking about is something entirely different. It's the amount Dexter worked hard to save this year for his second year's tuition. He took on multiple part-time jobs to cover it himself.
Wait, what?
Let me explain. When Dexter started college, Grandma and I stepped in to help with the initial costs, including his enrollment fee and first-year tuition. We knew it was too much for a high schooler to handle alone. However, from the second year onward, Dexter was determined to pay his way. He promised to earn and save enough through his part-time jobs, but then Dad, who apparently has no sense of boundaries, found out Dexter was working extra hours and saving diligently. Dad showed up unannounced at Dexter's apartment one day, let himself in, rummaged through his belongings, and discovered a savings account with about $6,000. That account, by the way, was specifically set up to cover Dexter's tuition and apartment rent. But Dad, being Dad, somehow convinced himself that it was money Dexter intended to send to you and him. So what did he do? He withdrew every single cent without asking.
Excuse me?
Yeah, Dexter made the mistake of using an easy-to-guess PIN, which is partly on him, I'll admit. But because of that, he's now facing a tuition payment crisis. He couldn't pay the $5,300 for the upcoming year and had no choice but to turn to me for help. With no other option, he swallowed his pride and asked me to lend him the money.
I can't believe this.
Well, believe it. I couldn't let him drop out of school over something like this, so I paid the tuition for him. Now, thanks to Dad's selfish actions, both Dexter and I are left financially strapped for the foreseeable future. We're both going to be living frugally for a while.
This can't be happening.
And because of all this, I've decided to stop sending money to you entirely. As for Dexter, I'm under no illusion that he'll be in any position to support anyone else, let alone you and Dad. He's focused on rebuilding his savings and getting through college.
Wait a minute, you can't just stop sending money. We rely on it. Without it, we're in big trouble. Up until now, your father has been living off the inheritance he got from your grandfather. And when your grandfather passed away 6 months ago, we used her inheritance too. But that's all gone now.
You blew through Grandma's inheritance? That's bad enough, but to think you've already burned through Grandma's inheritance too, less than 6 months after her passing? What is wrong with you two? Do you even realize how irresponsible that is?
Oh, don't you dare lecture me. We used most of the inheritance for Dexter. He's the eldest son and the rightful heir of this family. Everything we did was for him.
Oh, please, let's not kid ourselves. Anything important involving Dexter was either paid for by Grandpa or Grandma. You two were just along for the ride.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that now that the money you've been relying on has run out, Dexter has finally realized what kind of mess he's in. He's doing his best to stand on his own 2 feet and build a future for himself. So I'm asking you, no, I'm telling you, don't interfere with his efforts.
Lily, you didn't give Dad and Mom your apartment address, right? And I'm pretty sure you didn't tell them where you work either.
Yeah, I didn't. Why?
Can I stay with you for a while? Just temporarily, I promise.
What's going on?
Dad and Mom showed up at my place uninvited. They've moved in.
What?
Apparently, they blew through Grandma's inheritance and fell behind on rent for the house. They got evicted.
You've got to be kidding me. Wait, so the house wasn't theirs? It was a rental?
Yeah, it was. I guess I overlooked that detail, too. Anyway, it's gotten to the point where they've stopped caring about appearances entirely. They've started trying to take cash from my wallet when I'm not looking, and even tried pawning my stuff.
Are you serious? After everything they've said about loving you as the eldest son and heir, they're treating you like this?
From what I've gathered, they've been relying on loans to cover living expenses for the past few months.
Loans?
And yet they're showing zero signs of trying to get jobs. They're clearly counting on me to support them. Dad even asked me when my next paycheck is coming in. At this rate, it's only a matter of time before they take my money outright. I might have to drop out of college just to support them. That would make all the sacrifices you made to cover my tuition completely pointless.
I see. Give me a little time to think. Stay put for now, okay? Dexter, can you hang in there for a couple more days before we deal with this?
Yeah, I think I can manage. My paycheck doesn't come in for another week anyway. If you have a plan, I'll try to wait it out.
Actually, I don't think you should wait at all. Tomorrow morning, take all your valuables with you when you leave for class. After that, don't go back home. Instead, head to Station A after school.
Station A?
Your destination is an apartment near Station A Mansion. It's a 5-minute walk from the station.
A mansion? Wait, who lives there?
You've met them before, back when you were in high school.
Oh, I get it. You mean your boyfriend, right? The one who just came back from his overseas assignment a month ago?
Bingo! Since I don't want Dad and Mom figuring out where I live, I thought this was a good alternative. Plus, if you're going to hide somewhere, it might as well be somewhere with strong security. When I asked him for help, he didn't hesitate. He said he'd take care of you. He even offered to help find you a new place to live and assist with the financial side of things if needed.
Your boyfriend's a total legend.
I'll send you his contact information in a bit. Make sure to call him once you leave campus tomorrow, and he'll take it from there.
Got it. But honestly, I feel so pathetic right now. I've been relying on you and everyone else so much. I'm supposed to be working hard to become independent, but here I am running away again.
Dexter, listen to me. There's no shame in asking for help when you've done everything you can on your own. It's part of being human, part of surviving. What you can't do is try to shoulder everything alone. That's a fast track to burning out.
Lily.
Be grateful for the help you receive, and when you're in a better position, pay it forward by helping someone else. That's how you repay kindness.
Yeah, you're right. I'll do my best to get stronger. To become someone who can do that someday.
Lily, do you know where Dexter went? He left for university 2 days ago and hasn't come back since. Then this morning, some big, intimidating men suddenly showed up, and before I knew it, your father and Dexter were shoved into a black van with them.
Oh?
I was half asleep when they barged in, so I couldn't put up much resistance before the car sped off. I think we're in another state. It looks like some kind of company dormitory or something. Your father and I were both dumped here.
That's the dormitory for Oniwa Corporation, a construction company.
What? Oniwa Corporation?
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't know about it since you've never worked a proper job.
What are you talking about? What does this have to do with anything?
Oniwa Corporation is famous for its employee training. They're known for turning even the most troublesome people into respectable, functioning adults. That's where Dad, and eventually you, will work to repay their debts and hopefully reform themselves.
What? Why is this happening? If money is the issue, then Dexter or you could simply give us the money as part of your filial duty. There's no need for us to work like that.
Dexter and I want nothing more than to get as far away as possible from toxic parents who are perfect examples of what not to become as adults.
Toxic parents?
Yeah, I already knew you lacked self-awareness, but your reaction proves it all over again.
Never mind that. What about Dexter? Where is he? If you're going to make someone work, then he should be working too. He owes you $5,300, doesn't he?
Let me remind you of how this all started. Dad withdrew $6,000 from Dexter's account without permission and spent it all. So here's how it's going to go. First, Dad will repay Dexter the $6,000. After that, Dexter will return $5,300 to me. This process is non-negotiable since it's symbolic, about accountability. And one more thing, once that's done, consider this the end. I'm cutting ties with both of you.
Wait, Lily, don't leave me!
Bye-bye. The arrangement with the Oniwa group was made possible through the efforts of my boyfriend. It turns out that his father happens to be an old schoolmate of the Oniwa group's president. When I confided in him about the frustrating situation with my parents and my desire to resolve it somehow, he kindly offered to intervene. As a result, the Oniwa group not only agreed to take my parents in, but also welcomed them into their company as live-in employees without hesitation. While all this drama unfolded, Dexter, unbothered by the chaos, successfully completed his move to a new place. Now he's completely immersed in a rigorous daily routine. He works part-time jobs with incredible dedication, using his earnings to cover all his living expenses, rent, and tuition fees. Despite this challenging schedule, he still manages to attend university without compromising on his studies. His perseverance is nothing short of admirable. It's clear that he's determined to carve out a better future for himself on his own terms. As for my parents, the source of so many of our problems, they're currently in their 50s. They should still be in their prime working years, yet decades of laziness have left their toll. Their prolonged indulgence in a slothful lifestyle has apparently made even the basics of hard work an uphill battle for them. It seems they're now struggling to adjust to the structured routine required by their new roles in the Oniwa group. From what I've heard, their daily schedule is quite demanding. In addition to their regular work hours, their routine now includes mandatory morning and evening runs to improve their physical fitness. I suppose this added element of discipline was deemed necessary to help them adapt and overcome the bad habits they've developed over the years. The mental image of them huffing and puffing, running around from morning until night while barely managing to keep up with their responsibilities is oddly satisfying. Just imagining them in such a state eases some of my lingering frustrations, even if only a little. Honestly, it's hard to fully articulate the level of relief this arrangement has brought me. For years, I had borne the burden of my parents' irresponsibility. Their inability, or perhaps refusal, to contribute meaningfully to the household created countless obstacles in my own life. It was as if their complacency was a black hole, pulling me into a vortex of stress and resentment. But now, seeing them finally held accountable for their actions and forced to confront the consequences of their past choices, I can't help but feel a sense of vindication. Dexter's support throughout this ordeal has been invaluable. If it weren't for him and the connections his family provided, I doubt my parents would have ever taken the initiative to turn their lives around. His father's willingness to reach out to the Oniwa group's president on their behalf was an incredible gesture, one I'll always be grateful for. However, the fact remains that this opportunity was a result of external intervention. My parents certainly didn't earn it through their own efforts. Their acceptance into the Oniwa group as live-in employees came with the understanding that they'd need to drastically change their habits. The president made it clear from the start that laziness would not be tolerated. It's a no-nonsense environment where everyone is expected to pull their weight, and slacking off simply isn't an option. This newfound structure has forced my parents to step up in ways they never had to before. Meanwhile, Dexter continues to inspire me with his work ethic and determination. Watching him juggle part-time jobs, university classes, and his personal goals is a reminder of what can be achieved through sheer perseverance. His ability to manage his finances independently and maintain a sense of purpose despite the challenges he faces is something I deeply admire. Reflecting on the stark contrast between Dexter's disciplined approach to life and my parents' previous lackadaisical attitude highlights just how much they needed this wake-up call. For too long, they had taken the easy way out, relying on others to shoulder their responsibilities. This new chapter in their lives, though undoubtedly tough, is a necessary step towards their personal growth. Interestingly, the transformation isn't limited to their work habits. My parents' new routine has also had a noticeable impact on their health and fitness levels. The daily runs they're required to do have apparently been a shock to their systems, given how sedentary they had become over the years. At first, they complained incessantly about the physical demands, but over time, they seemed to be slowly adjusting. I've heard that they've even started to take pride in completing their runs without stopping to catch their breath, a small but significant sign of progress. Despite their complaints and struggles, I can't help but feel a small sense of satisfaction knowing that they're finally experiencing the reality of hard work. It's not that I wish them ill, far from it. If anything, I hope this experience serves as a turning point for them, motivating them to become more self-reliant and responsible individuals. However, the fact that they're being held accountable for their past behavior, even in this relatively controlled environment, is undeniably gratifying. This entire situation has taught me a lot about the importance of boundaries and the need to let people face the consequences of their actions. For so long, I had tried to shield my parents from those consequences, hoping that my efforts would somehow inspire them to change. But in the end, it was only through external intervention, through the involvement of the Oniwa group, that they were finally forced to confront their own shortcomings. At the same time, Dexter's resilience and independence have become a source of inspiration for me. His ability to navigate his own challenges with grace and determination is a testament to the power of personal responsibility. Watching him build a life for himself piece by piece has reaffirmed my belief that change is possible, even in the face of adversity. In moments of reflection, I often find myself imagining my parents running laps around the Oniwa group's training grounds, drenched in sweat and gasping for air as they struggle to keep up with the demands of their new routine. It's a mental image that never fails to bring a small smile to my face, a quiet acknowledgement of the poetic justice at play. Perhaps this experience will ultimately be a blessing in disguise for all of us. For my parents, it represents an opportunity to grow and reclaim a sense of purpose that they had long since abandoned. For me, it's a chance to finally let go of the resentment I had harbored for so many years and focus on building my own future without the weight of their shortcomings holding me back. In the end, I can only hope that this chapter serves as a turning point for all of us, a moment of reckoning that paves the way for a brighter, more balanced future.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.